everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Friday to you all. I hope that you're having a fantastic day so far, whether your day is just beginning, in the middle, or towards the end. I hope that it is simply fantastic. Just a reminder at the top of the show, I want to let you know that this week we are talking about the top 5 most unpleasant emotions that we all have experienced. And today, Friday, we are going to end the week by talking about stress. But before I jump into that, again, I want to welcome you and say happy Friday. I hope that you have some fantastic plans this weekend. I hope that you have plans. I know I say it every single week, but I hope that you have plans to relax, and I hope you have plans to be productive, and then I hope you have plans where it's like in the middle where you're like chilling, but you're getting things done. Maybe it's because you're multitasking, or maybe it's because there are like breaks in between to give you some extra time to chill and get work done. You know what I mean? So I just hope that you have great plans for this weekend. I know that a lot of people are gearing up to get ready for Thanksgiving, at least if you live in the United States, or if you do celebrate Thanksgiving wherever you live. I know that, Thanksgiving is celebrated at a different time for Canadians, particularly in October, but I do know a lot of my own personal Canadian friends that still celebrate the Thanksgiving in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that sounded so jumbled. But anyway. But yeah, I know a lot of people are getting ready for Thanksgiving this weekend. I know that I will be doing a lot of, deep cleaning tasks that I've kind of put off because I have been cleaning my house a little bit here and there and every day. But then, some stressors came with work, and then I got kind of behind. And then my husband decided he wanted to redesign the studio that we have, and you've kind of seen a preview of that if you've seen the 2 videos that I put up for the podcast. I know that I promised to, do more videos for the podcast, but we're just not quite there yet. There are several upgrades that I didn't realize that we needed, so it's been more difficult. I apologize about that, but that hopefully will be coming in the future. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't like to make promises that I don't even know if I can keep. So anyway, just an update on that if you're wondering. But yeah, so whatever you're doing, my house is a little bit of a wreck. I have at least, 6 more days to clean it before I am having like a bunch of people, not a bunch, just my family, to come for Thanksgiving and to, be smart, socially distance, have turkey together, have a good time. But yeah, so if you are feeling those same stressful feelings, overwhelmed feelings, I am right there with you. But I do hope that you have fantastic plans set out for this weekend. Or maybe you're just chill because you're not hosting and you're just like, I'm just about to bring my side dish and go over to someone else's house. That's great too. And again, I do hope that you're having a fantastic day today. And if you are having a hard day, or you're feeling a little frustrated, or you're feeling like the first part of your day has just been a nuisance, something that you would prefer to forget and move on from, I always encourage everyone to do the 5-minute reset, which gives you the opportunity to reset, reboot, or restart your day right then and there. You're just drawing a line in the sand and telling yourself, okay, everything from here on out, I am going to think more positively about, I am going to feel better about, and I'm going to look forward to better things happening from here on out. And like I said, you don't have to have a terrible day to do this. You can just, again, be annoyed by the first part of your day and just want to break it up and kind of shift that part back and then focus in on what's left. And it's also a great time just to really take that mental break away from burdens, issues, and problems that you're dealing with. Also to come up with resolutions for problems that you're dealing with that, are a really big weight on you or that involve other people. So hopefully you can bring that resolution back to the problem and solve it and then be on your merry way. I also encourage everyone to make a list of at least 4 things that you're grateful for, big, small, medium size. It doesn't matter. You can literally be grateful for anything. You can be grateful that your favorite football team won, which that's what I'm grateful for this week too. You can be grateful that maybe work wasn't as stressful as it has been. That's great. That's something to be grateful for. You can be grateful that you were able to get a little bit of extra time in to actually do your laundry if you've been super behind. I understand the feelings and the gratitude behind that. I recently experienced that. Or maybe you're just grateful that we are about to come upon one of your favorite times of the year or favorite holiday in general. Maybe Thanksgiving is your favorite. Maybe Christmas is your favorite. Maybe New Year's is your favorite, and you're excited about that. So you literally can be grateful for just about anything, and that makes it so that the list is endless. So you are able to practice gratitude every single day without running out of things to be grateful for, because you don't have to be grateful for just big, magnificent things of like waking up and being able to have food in your stomach and money in your bank account. Like, those are amazing things. Obviously, we should be grateful for them, but we can even be grateful for the minutia that happens in our everyday life. So, and last but not least, make sure that you're feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day, because despite what you're going through, by doing that gratitude list and taking a break from all of those things that are weighing you down, hopefully you're able to see the blessings that are in your life. And if you spend more time focusing on those things, then it'll be a lot easier to get through those hard things that you may or may not be going through. And that's not to diminish what you're going through, but it's just to give you a way to kind of pass through that season a little bit easier by focusing in on those positive things. But I do truly hope that you're having a fantastic day. Again, like I said at the top of the show, we are talking about the top 5 most unpleasant emotions. And today, Friday, we are talking about stress. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. We all know that stress is unpleasant because it makes everything else in life overwhelming and unenjoyable. And I understand, like, there is an amount of stress that is healthy for everyone to experience on a regular basis. But when it gets in the way of everyday life, it's a real problem, like a real genuine problem. Stress can help you when danger is present. And I don't know why I stopped and thought about that, but it's like, anytime I talk about this based on the research that I've done, they talk a lot about how stress like dates back to when we were, cave people in that sort of way. I don't necessarily think about it like that. I do think like, okay, like back in the day, like Old Testament times, where the stressors that you were trying to avoid were getting chased or run down or preventing yourself from getting eaten by animals, which was the danger then. I don't know why I always reflect back to that, but I do. And I think it's just because every time, you do research on stress, look it up, Google it, like those examples always come up. But anyway, so stress can help you when danger is present, but when it comes from everyday events on the regular, it's crossed the line. It's like stress has decided to step on top of your boundaries and not allow you to truly enjoy the rest of your day, to really take it all in, because it's kind of like stress is on the top and it's weighing everything down. It's like a burden. And so you can't even enjoy what's happening underneath, because stress is it's like saran wrap on top and nothing can come out because it is hindering everything else from working. Do you know what I mean? So, a little bit of stress will help to get your rear in gear and help you stay out of trouble and kind of like keep you alert when you need it. But if it's happening all of the time or so often, more often than it needs to, then it's something that you really should consider getting help for, or figuring out what's triggering it and what needs to be done. So stress can come from any event that causes you frustration, nervousness, or anger. And it's the body's demand to a challenge or demand. When I said that, it's the body's response to a challenge or demand, because a lot of times the things that stress us are challenging us to do something else or to do more or to change in that moment. And if a lot of people struggle to adapt in the moment, that can create so much stress that just bubbles up, and it can even cause you to have that sort of freeze, flight kind of predicament in your mind where you're trying to figure out what the heck do you need to do. It's like fight or flight or freeze. You're like, oh, and a lot of people generally will freeze. Or if the stress, if the body's response is because it's a demand, it's like someone is asking or requiring of you or demanding of you, or the situation is calling for you to do something that you're not prepared for, that you weren't expecting, and something that you personally do not feel like you can follow through with or do. So it's important to realize that stress can, if you don't feel like you are truly experiencing stress, or you feel like the people that struggle with stress are those people that, kind of seem super anxious all the time, or like physically and emotionally overwhelmed, those people are definitely dealing with stress. But I don't think that you have to be at that capacity for you to have a problem with stress either. So on that note, here are some common signs of stress if you have a hard time figuring out whether you can classify your emotions as stress or not. So headaches, stomach issues, insomnia, being sick often, feeling overwhelmed or easily agitated, difficulty relaxing, clenched jaw and teeth grinding, constant worrying, inability to focus, and pessimism. And of course, my disclaimer, this obviously was not a conclusive list. It never is, but it's definitely the ones that I wanted to highlight to you, to have you, it's like a broad spectrum of ones that maybe you didn't consider as signs of stress. And I do want to highlight those things to you, because maybe you thought that your stomach issues was from a mixture of things that you've eaten at that time, or maybe it's something that you don't even really deeply think about. You're just kind of like, it's happened so often that you're just expecting it to happen, if you've just gotten used to dealing with that issue on the regular. Maybe the teeth grinding or clenched jaw, like maybe you never attributed that to stress because you never knew that, or it just feels like a regular reaction for you, or something that you're dealing with, and you just assumed that it was just a thing, not like an actual thing to worry about. Obviously, things like constantly worrying, feeling overwhelmed, those, difficulty relaxing, obviously, I feel like those are more obvious signs of stress. But yeah, things like inability to focus and pessimism, you wouldn't necessarily pair pessimism with stress unless you knew that that was a common sign of stress, because you just feel like nothing can get done, nothing could get accomplished the way that you wanted to. You're looking down on everything because you just feel like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. There is no opportunity for things to turn around. It is this pessimistic, negative attitude that you're having a hard time shaking, because stress is weighing you down so very much. So today I'm going to give you 7 steps to overcoming stress in your life. And again, it's not a conclusive list. If you would like more ideas, I do encourage you to go to Google and type in how to overcome stress, because you will definitely get some of the ones that I'm going to mention here today, and you'll probably get some that I didn't mention here today, because obviously I take the time to research and pick and choose the ones that I feel like are important to highlight, and I try to pick some of them that aren't necessarily ones that everyone talks about when they discuss this topic, because obviously this topic is not a brand new topic by any means. Stress is talked about all the time in so many different fields. So anyway, just my note, I think every single time, I want you to know it's not a conclusive list, so don't come for me for that, but just know that, yeah, if you find that the steps I'm about to give you are just not helpful or not your vibe, please go look online and find more. Find whatever steps you feel would best suit you and help you actually tackle this issue and this stronghold, so that you can overcome it and live your best life, because that is why I'm here, to encourage you and to help you live your best life. So step number 1 is to create boundaries. Personal boundaries are lifesavers, and just saying no more often when you don't want to do something or aren't able is super helpful. You have to establish boundaries. You know that I talk about this often, and I'm very passionate about it, because boundaries are the things that will help you have more confidence in who you are and what your belief system is. It'll also keep you out of trouble or committing to things that you already know you don't have the capacity for, you don't have the time for, you don't have the skill for, and that you just probably don't feel like doing. You don't see it actually working out to be a good experience. And there is a tipping point here where if you're doing that all the time because you're saying no because you just don't want to do it, you do need to establish some balance in your life where if you are saying no all the time, is this because there is some fear living there, or is it because, you are becoming more withdrawn because you are struggling with your own personal depression or anxiety or things that are really like wanting to pull you away from actually interacting with people, which is another big warning sign? Or are you saying no because you are struggling with the community that is around you and it's just not helping you grow and flourish anymore? There are so many reasons why. So just consider that there needs to be balance in that, but you do need to establish boundaries. You do need to stick by the boundaries that you have, and you do need to call people out when they try to overstep their bounds with you. So consider that. Step number 2 is to shift your mindset. I talk about shifting your mindset all the time. A lot of people do. Millions of people do. It's an important thing to really think about. And it sounds like something so simple and easy, yet there are so many books and podcasts, YouTube videos, and mastermind classes on how to shift your mindset, because you're basically just shifting it away from the position that it is currently in that is not serving you the best that it could. So whether it is rooted in fear or anxiety or negativity, or you are literally just living in the past and only thriving within the baggage that you continue to drag around with you, it's important to shift your mindset. So if you are struggling with perfectionism, being a people pleaser, or anything related, you have to work on shifting your mindset to be more positive ideals and have a better positive train of thoughts, because that will definitely help you to put off some stress. And I'm not saying that you have to be positive all the time by any means. And that's like a hard thing for me, because I talk about wanting to motivate and I encourage people to be positive as much as possible, but there can be that again, that tipping point, that lack of balance there if you start pretending that you are happy and positive all the time when you're really not. Because I do believe in the whole fake it till you make it thing, but there is a line that you can cross where you're faking it all the time and you end up turning into a fake person in general, just altogether. And I feel like I can honestly say that to you because that was how I lived my life for so long, because I was such a die-hard people pleaser and perfectionist, because I would basically be a chameleon and I would adapt to whomever I was with, whatever situation I was in, and try to be what everyone wanted in that moment. And then I would just slither on to, well, I don't think chameleons slither, but you know what I mean. I would just go on to the next crowd, the next group of people, and be what they needed me to be at that time, which was being fake, and I was genuinely wanting to help those people, genuinely wanting them to like me, to be friends with them, to interact with them. But I was bending over backwards and pretending to be interested in things I wasn't, pretending to know things I didn't, and just go along with whatever was happening so that I wasn't the odd person out. I was just being a total people pleaser, a total fake person. Now, yes, you can be a people pleaser without being fake, but the extreme is being that fake person, and that's who I am. And if you are struggling with that and you feel like you're on that road, or you have already been living that life for many years as I was, it's not too late to turn around and change. It's really not. I would say within the last 3 to 5 years I have been able to change and shift my mindset into knowing that no one is perfect, and I need to stop trying to reach for that what would you even call it? Stop trying to reach for that finish line that I will never get to, because perfectionism does not exist. Being perfect just doesn't exist, and being a people pleaser will not make you happy at all whatsoever, because it's all the belief system, and that is all based on making other people happy despite how you may be feeling, but you don't even know how you're really feeling because you're taking all your time and effort and energy to please other people. So if you want to overcome stress, it's important to shift your mindset so that you're not focusing in so much on pleasing others and doing everything for others, but you're being more positive about yourself, about your life, about what you need to accomplish, and be positive about moving forward. Step number 3 is identify your unhealthy coping mechanisms. So when you are stressed, what do you find yourself doing to deal with it that really isn't working, but you tell yourself it is in the moment, right? And this might be one of those come to Jesus moments where you're like, I've never asked myself this question. I don't have any desire to ask myself this question. I get it. I understand the scariness and the fear of actually being honest with yourself. But I'm here to tell you that taking that step to actually be honest with yourself and to actually admit things that are false, that are wrongs, that are not serving you in any way is one of the very first steps that will help you to become a strong person, to become your best self, and to overcome stress and so many other mental health challenges that maybe you are dealing with. I don't know, but it's important to identify those unhealthy coping mechanisms. So habits like sleeping all the time, overeating, pulling away from social activities, excessive drinking, or taking your feelings out on others isn't the way to deal with stress. You need to identify what your negative coping mechanisms are and replace those with healthier and more hopeful habits, more helpful habits. You need to do the big old switcheroo and think about, okay, you're sleeping all the time. Why are you sleeping all the time? Are you depressed? Are you dealing with panic attacks or, really tough anxiety? Or are you afraid of something? Or are you just uncomfortable in the current community and people that you have to be involved in, and you need to work through those issues? Are you overeating to compensate for not being able to do something else? Or are you overeating because you need to be in control of something and everything else in your life is out of control? I understand that. I definitely went through that a lot. The year before I went to college, actually, I gained a lot of weight because all I would do was eat because I was dealing with so much stress and problems in my life. So I understand that, pulling away from social activities, we already talked about that, withdrawing from social situations. Excessive drinking, again, it's like a vice. It's like eating, drinking, you're trying to fill a void, taking your feelings out on other people. And, you just got to identify what negative things you are doing that you think are helping in the moment. But really, if you step back and, see it from a different perspective, you'll notice that those things actually are not serving you at all whatsoever. Step number 4, we are going real slow through these steps, aren't we, guys? I hope that you're still enjoying this and that it's not too long. But step number 4 is to work on time management skills. If you find a lot of stress stemming from getting behind on things or being late, work on creating a calendar system or to-do list that works best for you. So even setting your clocks ahead could help if you are chronologically late, and by setting them 5 or 10 minutes ahead and then hopefully forgetting, because if you remember, then you'll do the math and then you'll still end up being late, and that whole little trick won't actually help you at all. It might actually make things work worse in the end. But yeah, so this is more practical. If your stress is due to not being able to be on time to things or being able to get things done in a timely fashion, then it's important for you to find some sort of system that will work better for you, that will help to keep everything organized. So maybe it's a planner. Maybe you have a million reminders, alarms on your phone. That's what I have. I liked having reminders. I have reminders on my computer that will pop up. I have reminders on my phone. I have reminders on my watch. I have reminders everywhere. I have actual physical calendars on my wall, and I will sometimes set the same reminders on my husband's calendar, and then that'll trigger him to be like, oh, hey, this thing is coming up. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then on top of that, I will put up Post-it notes because I like the visual reminder of things that are coming up. That's also a thing that I do where I will post things and bills and things that need to be taken care of on my fridge because it's a constant visual reminder of things that I need to do and that I need to do it within a certain period of time normally. So again, if your stress issues are coming or stemming from time management and not being able to get things done, then I encourage you to figure out a system that will work best for you. Recruit someone that you trust or that's really good at time management if you don't know what kind of system to create to help you figure out what would work best for you. Then try it out. Give it at least 2 weeks to a month to figure it out. If it doesn't work, shift to something else. But you have to give a new system at least 2 weeks try to see if it actually works. You have to actually go through the process of doing the work and then seeing if it is beneficial to you or not. Don't just count it out in the first 2 days because it's hard, because change is hard. And that's really what the stress will be. It'll be the change. And then seeing if everything makes your life much smoother and less chaotic. So step number 5, step number 5 is to not let other people dictate your life. So I feel like this is something that stresses me out all the time, where you'll have other people that may or may not mean well, but they will come in and try to, I wouldn't say meddle. Some people are meddling. Let's just be honest. But, they'll try to get in your life and tell you what you need to do. And that could really increase the stress. And I think this is also goes back to being related to boundaries. But also, some of us have those people in our life that are constantly on top of us about how we should do this, that, and the other. And it can cause stress to creep in more and more. And then it just kind of can eventually overflow and explode in their face and in our face and just in our whole life in general. So I would encourage you to, again, this is another reminder to establish boundaries with that person, to kindly tell them, hey, I appreciate your suggestions, but I think I can really take care of this on my own. Just a note, they might take it badly in the beginning, but if those people are actually meant to be in your life and respect you and care about you, they will get over it and come back and figure out and try to come together with you, hopefully, and figure out the best way that they can help you and encourage and comfort you with dealing with stress. Step number 6 is to exercise. Whatever type of movement you're into, do it. Get that release of endorphins and experience relaxation, and a bonus, being productive. So I love exercise. I think I've mentioned that before. I am literally in love with exercise. It's a beautiful thing. And so much so that, I think I've mentioned before, we have built a home gym in our garage, and it has a treadmill and a weight bench that has yet to be built because I just know it's going to be like a 45-minute hour project, and I just don't have the mental capacity to do that yet. But we have something else you can sit on in the meantime that doesn't really work but kind of works. It's like one of those foam blocks. We have a squat rack, and then we have a cable system that attaches to the squat rack that, again, we have not built yet because, again, the time that it will take to actually do it. We have issues right now. But yeah, and so because I would drive 30 minutes to my gym after we moved, because my gym used to be 9 minutes away from my house in our old house, but now it's a half an hour away. And I would actually in the morning wake up at 6 o'clock and drive to that gym half an hour away, work out for an hour, and then drive half an hour home. And I thought it was worth it because I needed to work out, and just doing little home workouts with dumbbells, it just wasn't cutting it for me. I needed to lift heavy. It was a necessity in my life. And my husband saw that necessity, and he saw the drive and the need that I had in working out that hard. And was came to terms with the fact that, it'd be more cost effective to build a gym in our home, and I wouldn't have to drive as far and waste gas and waste time and, wear and tear on the car, that kind of thing. He's a finance guy, so that's why everything he sees is in numbers. But anyway, the whole point in saying exercise is super uber important to me. And it's not important in a way where I feel like if I don't do it, like the whole world will end. It's not that kind of thing, but it's more of like, it is what I need in my life to keep my stress at bay, to help me unwind. And if I am having a stressful moment, I know that I could go to the gym and just unwind for a little bit, or go on a run, or just go, work on my form for push-ups or something like that, something that's hard. It'll help me blow off some steam. And I think that could be true for so many people that maybe right now haven't tried exercise as an outlet, or don't think it's their jam, that they need to just give it another opportunity. And if you're not in love with exercise as much as I am, that's totally fine. But I do encourage you to do some sort of movement. So maybe you'll just go on a walk, or maybe you will get on the treadmill, and maybe you just want to walk, or maybe you want to get on the bike. Or maybe if you have stairs in your house and you truly just don't want to go outside because you're not an outside person, I get it, my husband's that way. Maybe you'll just walk up and down your stairs for like a solid 30 minutes while you're listening to some tunes or a podcast or whatever it is. And that will be like your exercise, your cardio for the day. Or maybe you'll just lift weights, whatever it is. I just encourage you to find a way for you to get some movement in your life. And again, it will be a bonus of being productive because you're getting in the exercise, you're getting that movement in, which is really important to your overall health. I totally think so and believe that. And you'll feel good about actually getting something productive done in your day, exercise. So I encourage you to look into that as a way to manage stress, because it works for me and so many other people that I know. But I understand if that's not your jam, you don't have to hit it as hard as I am. Step number 7, and the final step, is, I said this at the top of the week and I kind of regret it because I was wrong. So step number, and I write all of my notes generally in like 1 or 2 sittings. I will just sit and write and do my research all at once. And I should have just known better. But step number 7 today is to speak with a professional. And remember at the top of the week, if you were here on Monday, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to mention that. Or I think on Tuesday or something, I was like, I don't think I'm going to mention talking to a professional or speaking with someone every single day. Yet I have mentioned it every single day. And, I regret saying that I wasn't going to do that, but I don't regret putting that in every single day's list of steps. Do you want to know why? It's because it's important to talk to a professional. It absolutely is. So if you are having trouble managing your stress and dealing with things that are overwhelming to you, or that you don't know what spot or place in your life to put them in, I encourage you to talk to a professional. If you're not interested in that, you're not interested in talking to a counselor, a psychologist, or a therapist, speak with someone you trust, speak with someone you can talk to freely, openly, and tell them exactly how you're doing, what you're going through, what your struggles are, and what you need help with. And if you're able to lay all those things out to someone you trust or a professional, then do it, because they will be able to come alongside you and help you the best that they can. However, just keep in mind that if you decide to talk to someone that you trust rather than a professional, and the person you trust does not know what to do, they might also suggest that you talk to a professional. And just so you know, I say it all the time, it's nothing to be shameful about. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. It's something that's so important that needs to have all the stigma of it removed, and it needs to be a more normal thing that people do in society, whether they are struggling with mental illness or not. I don't think it should just be for people that are struggling with mental health issues at all. I think it could be for anyone, even if you've only been struggling with anxiety for a couple weeks and it's new to you and it's only triggered by certain things. I don't see why that would categorize you as being quote unquote crazy or troublesome, as some people will label it. It's just that you are doing the smart and efficient thing by asking someone else how to go about this problem and issue, and getting their advice and trying it and see if it works for you, as opposed to wasting your time and spinning your wheels trying to figure out what you should do to make things better, when 2 is always better than 1, and someone else's expertise is always better than you wasting your time trying to figure out what that expertise is, when you could just go to the source. I hope that makes sense. Okay, you guys, well, that's it for today and for this week. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, my name is Sabrina. I am so grateful for all of you. I'm so thankful that you come back. However often you come back, I'm sure there are people that come back for every episode maybe, and there's people that come back for ones that seem interesting with the description. Again, I'm sorry if the titles aren't as creative all the time. Definitely this week's titles were not creative. And sometimes they are, because if I'm able to get on a kick that's like alliteration, then I get really excited about making titles. I don't know what it is. So anyway, thank you so much for coming back and listening and sharing and talking about the show. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. So check the description box for notes for the show, where to find me on Instagram, my email address for any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, say hey, hi, hello, feedback or topic ideas for the show. I'd really appreciate it. It would be the bomb diggity. I had someone recently reach out to me, and I don't want to name them in case they don't want to be named, and that's fine, but I was really appreciative. They actually gave me some tips on things and feedback on things that they think I should work on, which I really appreciate and took openly. And I do think there are things that I need to work on for this show, because I am just here to serve you guys, and whatever can make the show better, I am willing to work on and do. So again, don't be afraid to reach out to me, or if you just want to say hi, I would love that too, because I want to get to know you guys as a community. Even though it's a really small community, I still want to get to know you guys. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this up because I've been recording for a long time, and who knows if anyone's actually listening here at the end. But if you are, I want to let you know that next week we are talking about the 5 types of negativity, and Monday we are starting the week off by talking about perfectionism, which I'm very excited about. So if you are interested in that, or the 4 other types of negativity that I will speak on, please come back and listen. But until then, have a good one. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.